So let's dig into coaching offer type number 4, masterminds. Masterminds are some of my favorite ways to serve clients. And I just want you to know masterminds are completely different than group coaching. All right. So masterminds really are peer-to-peer mentoring groups facilitated by a coach, focusing on mutual growth and accountability and brainstorming. All right. So when I read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which I highly recommend, to be honest, it took me a while to read it. I had to read it about 5 times to fully get it. But once it clicked, it was amazing. So his philosophy on a mastermind. So it's like this additional mind that helps everyone in the mastermind get better ideas and stuff like that. So a mastermind comes from the energy of the group that produces, it's almost like an enlightened energy is the best way to describe it, that helps everyone get better ideas and share those ideas with and their connections to further the mutual group goal. Okay. So I obviously adapted that from Think and Grow Rich as the book. But it was something that really opened my eyes to masterminds because I had heard of them, but I didn't quite understand. And I think a lot of people run masterminds, but it's really group coaching. So something to think about from a mastermind perspective, you as the coach are an amazing facilitator and organizer and connector of people. And you then allow the group to do peer-to-peer mentoring, right? You're going to come up with ideas, activities, you're going to start the conversations, and then ultimately it's everyone within the group that is, usually you want them to be at a similar level. And that way the whole group is getting value, right? And then that they mentor themselves. So there's a lot of love seeding, hot seeding, that people can share their expertise with the group and then get expertise back as well. All right. And then from a coaching perspective, I loved being able to, have the accountability and stuff like that and follow up and whatnot. So masterminds, the term, in my opinion, from a coaching perspective, has gotten completely a little bit watered down on what a true mastermind is. You can also think of it almost as like a round table type of program as well. So masterminds are fantastic when you have the right type of people. And then you want to have a very specific goal that the whole group is on board with. And then everybody helps each other achieve, right? And when the group achieves, you achieve as the coach and facilitator, and the mastermind is amazing success. All right. So an average investment range for masterminds are anywhere from, I've seen them online for $1,000, or maybe they're just meeting online or through Zoom every other week or something like that for 90 days, then up to 15,000 plus. I've been in a mastermind that was closer to 25,000. It really just depends on the duration, the exclusivity, and obviously if there's in-person destinations or any online experiences, it also, you want to price it in a way that prices out certain people if you want to run a high-end mastermind, okay, with people making a certain level, right? Or they all have this common thing, and it's a very niche specific. So masterminds are, they tend to be a little bit more. Sometimes I've heard of $50,000, $100,000 masterminds because there's these, what tends to happen is you'll go away to a travel destination. So maybe that's every quarter you go somewhere. And then there's cost obviously associated with hotels, and the more high end the mastermind is, I'll say the bougier the experience and location and stuff needs to be, then the more it costs for the mastermind facilitator and coach to put forth for that as well. And then all that's absorbed into the price. So however you want to do it, there's plenty of ways to do online masterminds. I tended with mine called the Concord, I did a hybrid. So we went away every 3 months. We would go somewhere. I would get something booked for us, long weekend in New York. We did Palm Springs, Miami, Houston, obviously. I think we did Dallas and Chicago, so we would, be traveling places, but then in between those, we would do bi-weekly touch bases with the mastermind. So typical timeframes are very similar to group coaching. I wouldn't go less than 6 months unless you're doing a very kind of quick win 90-day $1,000 or $997 investment because you want to trial it out or something like that. But typically there's at least 6 months because it takes that long to like get the group dynamics going and to get the results, or 9 months or a year. I used to do a year, but then I found, having to do 4 events a year, I just like to do 3. So it ended up being 1 every 3 months kind of thing. So 9 months and a year. So, but ultimately you're going to pick the duration of what works best for you and your clients, right? And you'll want to have a pay in full option as well, discounted with a bonus, and also that recurring monthly example. So say it's going to be $3,000, you might have $997 a month for 3 months type of thing, or however you want to do it. You can also stretch out the payments more if you're doing 1 year or 9 months. But I tend to make the monthly payments a little bit higher than if they would have just paid in full. So however you want to work that, but we definitely want to have those options from a pricing strategy. And then again, we always want to end with the same number in your pricing strategy. And the reason for those who've watched every single one of these, I say this because I think some coaches will just go cherry pick and listen to the videos that they are thinking about doing. So they may not hear that you want to end your pricing with either the same number all the time across all your programs, right? Just to keep it simple and consistent and all that, right? And why we're doing that is just really about building that trust, making it easy for you to remember, and helping you with your pricing strategy. All right, so masterminds are great for coaches who are great leaders. They excel in creating community, and they can easily facilitate strategic group conversations. That's the key. Great mastermind facilitators can lead up strategic group conversations because people who join masterminds tend to be high learners, kind of a little more fast paced. They value, they're, educated. They're great in their niche, but they're also humble enough to know that they need more help and they want to make these really lasting connections. And that's what masterminds are great for. I'm still friends with some of the other people that were in my mastermind. It's really cool. And then ultimately, masterminds are great for coaches who like to drive accountability. Do what you say you're going to do. Like that has to be a core value of a mastermind because if you get one mastermind participant doing what they're connecting people and doing all this stuff, and then the other person just sitting there taking, it's not going to feel good for the whole group. Okay. So you want to be able to drive accountability and you enjoy that process of collective success, right? It's not about me, it's about we, right? And that's what masterminds are about. Masterminds may not be a great fit for coaches who are less comfortable with group coaching and group leadership, okay? Maybe you prefer one-on-one settings, and the coaches who are not skilled with organizing and logistics, or they find managing diverse viewpoints stressful. They don't know how to do the group dynamics I was talking about, right? Or that feels like, what if this happens? And you got to be able to hold the room. You've got to be able to roll with the flow because it's not when you have masterminds, it's like doing events, And for anyone who's done an event or had a wedding or somebody else has had a wedding you planned or whatever, it's not a matter of if something's going to go wrong, it's when. And I don't like to come at things at a negative perspective, but that's really helped me in the sense of how do you recover, and you recover quickly. And you can recover in a way that no one even knew that anything was wrong. And if that's you, then you might be a great leader for a mastermind. But if doing that kind of stuff is like, or you don't have the budget to pay somebody to be that person, then it may not be the right fit. All right, so pro tips for coaches who want to have a mastermind offer. You can charge a premium for exclusive high-touch experiences that a mastermind promises. So think about, the $25,000 mastermind. It could be 9 months, 3 locations, one in Hawaii, one's in Mexico, and one's in New York City or whatever. And they're high touch because you're putting people in a room who would normally never get to know each other. Right? So you can charge a premium for those high touch experiences. For me and my mastermind, I also did one-on-one coaching with everyone in it as well. So something to think about there. You can also include irresistible extras like having guest speakers or personalized coaching to add that value to the investment which is what I did as well. And for every time we would go to a location, I would bring a dynamic guest speaker that always blew someone away, because I work so hard in building a network of fantastic people that are all about giving and sharing and that kind of stuff. So that was always important to me, to have somebody there that normally they wouldn't be able to meet. And I also want you to lead with confidence when a mastermind and navigate each session with authority, making sure each client feels seen, heard, and valued. So you might have different types of personalities in the mastermind. Somebody who's very outgoing and they just love to hear themselves talk. You have to know how to, make them like, okay, thank you. We've enjoyed hearing that. What do you have to say over here for somebody who's maybe more quiet, but you can see their mind is spinning and they have fantastic ideas. So that's really about that group dynamics and facilitation as well. We want everyone to be seen, heard, and valued. So you'll have to call out people that might have an expertise in this that normally wouldn't just jump in, type of thing. So, because you want everyone to feel the value of the mastermind as well, the investment. All right. And then don't forget to factor in the cost of any in-person perks, the meeting spot. So I would get usually some sort of nice conference room or space and bring in lunch and some breakfast, coffee, that kind of stuff. Some masterminds don't. They don't have that type of thing. For me, I wanted to create a more luxury experience that was important to me and important to my clients. So I did all that. You don't have to. And your travel logistics. So with the price of the mastermind, you've got to, if you're going around places and whatnot, you're going to have expenses that, need to be built into that. You can also spark engagement in your mastermind by using thought-provoking prompts that fuel the discussions. And you want to know those type of prompts going into it, because you want to get the mind going so that they're all starting to think and they start to vibe on this very similar energy. And then the mastermind kicks in, where people then, I don't know, I would hear it all the time. I don't know where this came from, or I just got this download and it's bizarre, but it's like, you should do this. So it's really kind of cool how all that happens. And we got to then also be able to create that accountability that people are doing what they say they're going to do. And then we're going to be moving the group towards a primary goal or primary goals. And you'll set those up at the beginning of the mastermind as well. All right. And then you can also offer an upsell for continued access to the group, or maybe you have a next level mastermind to keep the momentum going. So people who tend to do masterminds as their signature coaching offer have one level, and then they have a premium one that is more of an investment. It's more exclusive. Maybe there's some specific, you got to make, $1 million to get into it. They do all of this so that it feels exclusive and allows them to network in a way that normally they wouldn't be able to do. So something to keep in mind. All right. So does having a mastermind offer feel like the right fit for you? If it doesn't, no problem. It's okay. We got more. Yes. Okay, great. Do you see it being your signature offer, or maybe an intro and doing having 90-day, mini masterminds, or a premium offer as well? So whatever works for you there. All right. So up next, we're going to get into coaching offer type number 5, hybrid coaching.